Everybody wants to storm from a safe lit room, till the floorboards shake and the break of blooms, till the glass all sings and the tree line bows, till the dark comes down like it's here right now. I got one eye on the scan and one on the road, one hand on the mic when the pressure unloads. If the sky's got a mouth, then it's saying my name, and I answer back through the static and rain. Drop, breathe, count the seconds in between. Spin, feel the whole atmosphere. Crack, rise, shift. Watch the warning polygon drench. Breath. This is all. We're at the edge where the wild winds speak. Stormy eyes and a heart that beats. Blue white fire in the shadow rain, calling our name through the window pane. When the whole world bends and the sirens call, we stand tall when the shadows fall. Every flash burns truth in the night. We were born for the warning light. Signal breaking. Wind still talking. Stormy eyes. Still watching. Ay, 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 ay. Low light glow from the monitor blue. Midnight model saying something's about to move. Pressure falling in the digital room, while the rest of the world just assumes it's true. He's got the maps lined up like chess, every frame dissecting, nothing left to guess. Whispers in the jet stream bending west. He sees it forming in the data's breath. We're live, but he's 10 steps ahead, watching supercells get fed. Calm voice cutting through blood thread. He got eyes up, it's not done yet. He don't chase the noise, he chases patterns. Reach the future in the scatter while the sky turns. I am mad. He's already in the chatter. Hey, hey, score lights up, warning stack. Radar bleeding green to black before the sirens ever crack. He's the one who coming back. We calling the dude, standing in the static. When the clouds go rude, he moves automatic. Storm front rising, tension colliding before it breaks loose. Hey, we got the dude. He's the calm and the feed when the timeline shakes. We don't wait to believe, he reads what it makes. When the thunder intrudes, we already know because the sky talks back. So thunder. Textbook Martins full of scorn, cold dreams. Meteorology stitched in the seams. spinning like a sonic boom. Pressure falling like a warning sign. Nature right, then chaos in a spiral line. Skyline flickers with electric veins. Lightning carving silver through the rain. Sirens echo through the city streets. Thunder marching with mechanical beats. When the whispers first, then the sky explodes. Storm front marching like a warring codes. Every echo on the radar screen means the storm machine is wicked unseen. Feel the pressure in the atmosphere. Feel the thunder drawing near. When the skyline starts to glow, you already know. Watch the sky. Watch the sky when the lightning strikes. Stormy eyes in the neon lights. Every flash like a battle cry. Hear the thunder shaking the skyline. Watch the sky when the sirens scream. Radar glowing electric green. When the storm begins to rise, you see the world through stormy eyes. See the radar watching sails collide. Rotation forming on the southern side. Velocity cockpit screaming on the scan. Every pixel drawing up a plan. Skyborne voices on the frequency line, calling out warnings just in time. Storm chasers racing through the night. Headlights cutting through the lightning light. Freight train wind tearing through the plain. Street lights flicker in the pouring rain. Nature's fury spinning in the dark, leaving signatures across the pond. Storm rising, winds turning, lightning burning. Storm rising, winds turning, lightning burning. Run from the sky. Watch the sky. Watch the sky when the lightning strikes. Stormy eyes in the neon lights. Every flash like a battle cry. Hear the thunder shaking the skyline. Watch the sky when the sirens scream. Radar glowing electric wave. Then the storm begins to rise. You see the world through stormy eyes. Drop, storm, shock. Lightning whipping through the cloud top. Wind, howl, sky fall. Hear the thunder when the vortex calls. Watch the sky when the heavens ignite. Stormy eyes in the electric night. Every bone like a blade in the sky. Feel the storm as it passes by. Watch the sky when the sirens cry. Storm hunters running through the night. When the thunder fills the skies, we are the watchers. Stormy eyes. Ay, 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 ay. Low light glow from the monitor blue. Midnight model saying something's about to move. Pressure falling in the digital room, while the rest of the world just assumes it's true. He's got the maps lined up like chess. Every frame dissecting, nothing left to guess. Whispers in the jet stream bending west. He sees it forming in the Davis breath. We're alive, but he's 10 steps ahead. Watching supercells get fed. Calm voice cutting through blood thread. He got eyes up, it's not done yet. He don't chase the noise, he chases patterns. Reach the future in the scatter while the sky turns iron mad. He's already in the chatter. Hey, hey, score lights up, warning stack. Radar bleeding green to black. Before the sirens ever crack, he's the one who coming back. We calling the dude, standing in the static. When the crowd
Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Parker and Tarrant counties in Texas. Expect hail up to 1 inch and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Move away from windows. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Nassau County in Florida, and Camden County in Georgia. Expect hail up to 3/4 of an inch and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Move away from windows. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Bryan, Johnston, and Marshall counties in Oklahoma. Expect hail up to 3/4 of an inch and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Move away from windows. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Shackelford County in Texas. Expect hail up to 1.25 inches and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Move away from windows.
All right, yourself, Bob? You get a little rest there? I see you must have been burning the midnight oil last night, huh?
Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Lincoln County in New Mexico. Expect
Yeah, you
hail
got
up
a
to
lot
1
going
inch
on,
and
it
wind
sounds
gusts up
like.
to 60 miles per hour. Move away from windows.
Yeah, it seems like you got a lot going on. Well, that's why I think, yeah, thanks for hooking up. Like I say, I came across you on TikTok, obviously, and saw, what you got going on there. And I wanted to kind of share a little bit what we've got going on with Storm GPS and Tornado Tracker. I just think there might be some synergies there for us. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on me and maybe I can get a little on you. I had 25 years of IT insurance with American Family. I think we're down in Kansas down there too, where you're at. But I was in IT with business intelligence and geographic information systems, and went through a divorce, I don't know, probably 8, 9 years ago, and had been working in corporate for a long time. So I kind of said I, had enough. I want to try some different stuff. So I got into trading stock futures and options, did that for a while. And all this weather stuff was always in the back of my mind. Like I said, I did a lot of that with the hail tracks and hail corridors and such for American Family. My team handled all that stuff. So that was my, I guess, getting my fingers into the whole GIS and the whole I guess business intelligence side of weather and how it impacts the insurance industry. So this kind of started out as a hobby, I guess, for me and a friend of mine who's in risk management. We really started saying, these polygons that the National Weather Service gives you doesn't really give you the detailed information as to where the storm is. I say there's a tornado warning for Dane County. It's like, well, what the hell does that mean? So we worked on putting together actual storm corridors and putting ETAs along those. And like I say, we've been working on this. We've got like 6 or 7 years of history right now. So this thing's been running for quite a long time. The back end is rock solid. Our initial customers were emergency management and 911, and that's kind of the user base that we have. And what you saw recently was the handheld app, because one of the things that we have a problem with, and I'm sure it's why you do what you do, is every spring we see people getting killed by tornadoes, and it's like we got technology now that really can prevent that. I mean, if you really dig in and see where these storms are going, if people have their safety plans in place, they should be able, whether they're getting in their basement, whether they're getting in their car and getting the hell out of there, or they're going to a storm shelter, whatever, we should have enough advance warning to keep people from getting killed. So that's kind of been, our thrust now into the handheld environment, and that we want to give our technology, out so people, can have it in their hands. Because our stuff, I don't know how much you were able to look into our handheld app, but we give you the exact mileage that the tornado is away from you. We update that every minute. So you see where the corridors are and you see what's coming at you. And we also monitor every storm cell in the sky as well. And I can do a screen share and go over that with you. But I just wanted to give you kind of a little bit of background on me and kind of how we arrived where we're at right now. And like I said, the handheld's been out for like 6 weeks right now. Just started playing around in the TikTok environment. I was never even on TikTok, so I've only been on there like 6 weeks, and your feed started popping up and seeing your stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. He's got some, and you've got it sounds like you're in with the whole weather net, and that I'd be really interested in kind of hearing a little bit about you and how your whole fray and what you got going on now. Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I guess what I'm seeing though is when it generates the code and then you don't exactly see how it's doing it. I mean, that's where I guess for me, I want to be under the hood to know exactly what's going on. So yes, I'm using it as well. I'm working in the Google anti-gravity environment is what I've used. So yeah, it's very impressive what you can do with it. You do have to be very careful as well to make sure. Well, it saves you a lot of time. There's no question about that. I mean, right, exactly, right, awesome, Yeah. Yeah, thanks. That's you got a lot going on. There's no question about it. With regard to the StormNet, and so like right now, I've just seen you, out on TikTok. But how does that work? I mean, you had mentioned I've seen you talking about like YouTube. Do you like stream to both platforms, or do you just stream to TikTok, or how is that working for you? Well, that's why it's a really what I found. It's a tough nut to crack. YouTube's really a tough nut to crack. That's where I found, I've had an X presence for years, and that's like a dead zone too. X, trying to I mean, I found, go ahead, go ahead. Right. Oh, wow. Awesome. Well, I've seen that in your chat too. You get people in your chat. I've seen that, shooting their mouth off, and yeah, I guess, yeah, Periscope. It was really cool at the time, though. I mean, it was the first thing that you could kind of do that with. So it was pretty neat. What were you streaming at that time? Oh, politics stuff, yeah. No, yeah, you don't need tornadoes aren't red or blue either. They don't, yeah, they don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Well, it sounds like you've had a heck of a road then with your health problems. I had some health challenges myself, and with the heart, I had some other things going on too. So I kind of feel with you in the struggle. And my partner, he's had some things as well. So we're not spring chickens anymore, but we got a lot of zest yet to take this stuff to the next level. So, um, well, great. I guess just one more, just before I get on, I was going to give you a demo to show you exactly what we all got going on. It'll give you a little better understanding of what we have right now. But just on your TikTok right now, just one more question on that before I throw in the demo here. So, are you like monetizing through like your views on TikTok? Like I say, I'm new to TikTok, so I'm not. Or you got subscriptions, or how are you? Yeah. Well, that's why. That's what and that's why they want you in live studio too instead of OBS, and so they can see exactly what's going on. Is kind of what I found out of that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, cool. It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on. Like I say, your stream popped up. I mean, I was trying to see the weather space, but there's no question there's room in this area for some really good quality stuff. I don't know if you've seen that. I think his name's Shannon or something, where he kind of just does a breakdown of velocity and stuff, but he's got a lot of followers too. And it's like I'm going, well, I don't think the quality is really that good, but there's like I say, so there. I think TikTok is definitely you're in. I think you're in the right place. Like I say, I'm kind of the new arrival here, just trying to. I mean, the reason I got on the TikTok is because we're trying to get exposure to the handheld app, and I don't know if you look at all the posting. I've only been on TikTok for 6 weeks, and all I've been doing is basically screen grabs of our software. When a tornado is going through a particular area, and I've been figuring out how the indexing works and stuff. But I'm already up to like 1,600 followers in 6 weeks. I mean, I don't really plan on doing that, but I mean, I've got some of the videos I got out there got like 60 or 70,000 views and stuff. So people are people are hungry for what we got. So um, so um, yeah. Well, I'll do a screen share because, like I say, I appreciate your story and your background, and it really fits into ours as well. I mean, there's been no easy grind. I got divorced. My wife took me for everything I was worth, and then I had the health problems, get caught underinsured, and so it's like,
You know, I'm not, I got all my friends that if I would have rode out with American Family, they're all retired now golfing. And I'm still trying to be this crazy entrepreneur, you know, at 60 years old. But it's like, well, that's, you know, that's how life goes. You know, you take what's comes your way. Yeah. Well, you never know until you talk to people, you know. So it's, um, at any rate, this is what you're looking at right now. This is the web, basically the web version of the phone app that I have out right now. So it's web enabled. We pretty much use it. I do a lot of the screen grabs that I get, but just to kind of show you in a nutshell um, how it works here. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. You can see right here. Can you see my mouse? And you got so right here. We're up in Madison, Wisconsin. So right now, all of this is sorted on every storm is sorted on the distance away from my location. So if you can see right here, there's 849 miles. That's the distance to the closest storm right now. So um, to just kind of do a roundabout here in the upper right, we've got the Warren cell. So there's 12 warnings right now. Bring this up. And like I say, on the phone, it's a little more compact. This doesn't look pretty since the web version, but it basically, this is every one of those warnings, and it's the distance sorted away from you. So we actually have the street level. We append street level to the location, and we update that every minute. So as the storm is progressing, these are updated. So you see private road, um, uh, we got Relay Street, County Road, blah, blah, blah. If you go down, we also have these threat parameters. I'll go over those in a bit, but just to show you how this all links in. So this closest storm to us right now is this storm that's 850 miles away. You click on that, it goes right to the storm. So here's that Kelly Road. So we've got it right now. It's progressing. It's a little bit ahead of the cell right now, but you can see what we do is we draw a 60, this red line, we draw a 60-mile corridor out for every National Weather Service severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning, and marine warning. We draw that out 60 miles, and then we also generate the arrival times for every warning. So again, this is all down to street level. So if you say just click on this right now, just show you how it works at 441 ETA. So we're looking at this getting to Alabama Street in Joshua, Texas at 441. So that's about 15 minutes out right now, which is pretty accurate. This now pin, this is what moves along this track, and it's updated every minute. Like I say, it's moving a little bit faster than the cell right now, but we do that based on the National Weather Service warning, where we take the actual speed of the cell and then we project where it's going to be down the cell. So usually it's pretty close. Sometimes it's a little lagging, sometimes but bottom line, you can see right here, you know, we got the hail core right here. And then, like I say, this thing's progressing right down through there. So yeah, there's nothing out there like it. I mean, that's where, you know, we wanted to differentiate. We didn't want to just be, you know, here's your radar, and, you know, make sense of it. So that's, you know, so we've got the warning. I know you were playing around with
The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Johnson County in north central Texas, eastern Parker County in north central Texas, southwestern Tarrant County in north central Texas, northeastern Hood County in north central Texas, until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 4:11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Aledo, or a miles east of Weatherford, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. Another severe thunderstorm was located 5 miles north of Weatherford, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts and $50 size hail. Source, radar indicated. Impact, hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Weatherford, Benbrook, Granbury, Willow Park, Aledo, Hudson Oaks, Western Lake, Annetta, Lake Weatherford, DeCordova, Crescent, Annetta South, Annetta North, Wapples, Benbrook Lake, Acton, Tin Top, and Lake Granbury. This includes the following highways.
Wow, this is a long one.
Interstate 20 between mile markers 405 and 425. Interstate 30 between mile markers 1 and 2.
So there you have it. Yeah, well, you can pull up like yours you're pulling off. We could make those shorter, but you know, we just got it in there. If somebody saw, if you click on the lightning bolt, it gives you, you know, we've got, this was the location. We had append a road to the actual warning. So when it was issued, we added around the Jenkins Road in Aledo, Texas area. We go out and do a population so you can determine, you know, whether we're going through a populated area or not. We also got housing units, you know, along their population and such. So like I say, we pull all that in soon as the warning is issued by the National Weather Service. So, and that's on, like I say, this is on every tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, and marine warning. So that's what we got going on the National Weather Service front. But I'm going to show you something that's even, what I think is even cooler. This is stuff that's not even available to the general. We're the first people to make this available to the general public. But if you see all these polygons around here, around these storm cells, what those are, it's actually generated from the NOAA SimSys right here at UW-Madison. They basically take the satellites and they combine it with the radar feeds, and then they run it through machine learning with all the weather parameters and such. And they basically come up with a chance of the storm producing a tornado, wind over 60 miles an hour, or hail over 1 inch. Then we also get the hail value of every cell. And this is updated every minute. So we basically tell you every one of these cells you can see. And like I say, I actually watch weather. I turn the radar off. That's where I say this is, you won't see any site that does this, but I mean, this is basically how I watch the weather. And you can see very quickly, just with a glance, where the severe weather is, you know, because they'll go pink when you get, when they really go, but you can see the boundaries change colors when they start getting more intense. So you can quickly see, you know, this is damaging hail. They don't have a warning on this one, but this will probably go warned because it's dropping 1.29 inch hail right now. So you can really filter out the noise. I mean, you can glance around here pretty quickly and see where the cell. We've got another one up here in Colorado. Let's see what this one's doing. Yeah, this has got 1.33 inch hail. This will probably go potentially warned because it's dropping. And we append city to these as well. So if you go up here to the upper right where it says cells, we're monitoring every storm cell in the sky 24/7, 365. So if you click on this cell, this is every storm cell in the United States, and it's sorted on the distance away from me, from what I have right now. So obviously there's nothing up here. The closest storm cell is 408 miles away. But you can also sort, this is for like tornado outbreaks. You can click on the tornado, and now it sorts the cells based on the propensity for tornadoes. So right here, we can see this one up in Oregon right now, where, you know, they're having weather up in Oregon today. Talk strange enough. But this one up here's got rotation up here. This is, you know, 14's low, but we've seen tornadoes like 20. When this thing's maxed, it's like 60. When you got shit tearing stuff up. but we've seen touchdowns, you know, as low as 14. So again, we've got the city state on here. You click on the miles and it goes right to the cell. So now we're out to the cell here in Oregon. Yep, here, this is it right here, the 129-inch. That's not the rotating one. It's one of these. It must be see the boundary on this one? It's getting darker. It's getting pink. There's our 14 right there. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's probably got a tornado possible tag on it. But yeah, you got that. So yeah, so the way we look at this is, you know, the first thing that happens obviously is you've got, you know, the SPC polygons. So you can see, okay, well, where's stuff going to happen? We start seeing these polygons start popping. So you can really tell, okay, where's the warning going to take place? So it kind of gives you a heads up without just trying to look at radar. Like I say, I don't really use radar that much because it gets in the way. I trust this enough because this stuff's rock solid. This is not some experimental. This is the real McCoy. This stuff here. Yeah, so those are all sorted on distance from you. The other great feature that we've got in here is you can put in as many locations as you want. So like say right now, let's say, you know, if you lived in Kent, you wanted to watch, and like for your stream or something, if you wanted to watch from a certain thing, we can go, okay, I want Hermiston, and so we can say, I want to drag it to this location. Let's see, where did my, I think with my screen share here, we're missing the add. Well, it's probably hiding under this thing. There it is. It's going, where the hell is it? Confirm. So what did I say? Well, I'm just going to put in test city and click save. So here's now that test city that we just put in. But if you notice now, the mileage all changed on all of this stuff, these warm cells, everything is now based on this location. So this is the miles away from you. So you could have grandma's house in there, you could have your work, you could have whatever. You can have as many locations as you want. So if you're watching out for another area, you know, you can just go down to the location tab. Like I say, you can add as many of these as you want. We can also track your GPS location. So if you're driving down the interstate or whatever, it'll actually move. It moves and it updates everything based on your location. So yeah, I mean, we made it such that, you know, we didn't want to just be another, you know, radar application. We wanted to put something out there that's life-saving and giving people, you know, that's the thing with, you know, the max velocities and the Ryan Y'all, you know, they're like blowing information at people. But if you're sitting there in the street, you know, is this tornado going to hit me? You know, that's what people really want to know. They want to know, you know, is this thing, what impact is this going to have on me? And, you know, max velocity, those guys do a great job, but they can't cover the entire United States when you got one of these outbreaks going on. I mean, even a local television station has a hell of a time doing that. So that's where we built. I mean, everything you're seeing right here is in that $5 handheld application that you have. So I say that thing's locked and loaded with everything I'm showing you here. So that app, you know, that app is going to go places because it's, you know, so I'm in the discovery phase right now of, you know, getting the word out. But I don't know, you got any, what's your initial cut on what you're seeing here? Well, we do right now. Our Storm Command Center product, that's what we sell to emergency management and 911 right now. That's our subscription product. But I mean, our model on that is, you know, we sell it to a county and then they can let their 911 use it or their fire department or what have you within a county. This is the first time, where we're kind of broaching out into, opening the hood up for more. And that's why I wanted to have dialogue with you to kind of see what your plans and what you're thinking, because what I see what you're doing with your whole the whole StormNet, I could see you basically being the leader of the entire StormNet community, because that's a lot of like ham operators and stuff too, right? I mean, I don't totally understand that whole end of it, but I could see you being, the leader of that whole thing. And from my perspective, I don't want to just sell this software to 90 people who are going to go fight each other like cats and dogs on TikTok using the same thing. I'd rather say, I want to partner with Bob. I want to make Bob successful. If Bob's successful, then I'm going to be successful because I'm going to be selling the handheld applications. And ultimately, we're all in this to save lives. And, you know, exactly. Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, you could give people ETAs. I mean, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but that's why I wanted to have the discussion with you is that if we gave this software to you and we're saying, okay, you knock yourself out, you go live with it. I mean, what we'd want to be doing then is, I guess I'd like to be involved, online sometimes with you. I think would help with your stream as well. But then you'd be endorsing our handheld product. So, if you're showing somebody the ETAs and they're looking at it and they're saying, I'm sure a lot of them are going to say, well, where's that? Or where are you getting that product? I'm going to say, okay, this is available on Android and iOS. And now we're equipping those people. So you don't get the guy, you don't get the guy calling in where it's sunny in Boston and the guy saying, what's the weather in Boston? And you're looking at tornadoes in Kansas. It's like we want to equip people so they're self-sufficient. And that's what our handheld app does. But there's still people are going to, so the way I would envision this is if we get in a relationship, I go with an exclusive with you and say, okay, you're the only one that's going to have this software because nobody else has this. I mean, so if you had this, then like I say, the plan would be that yes, we are going to push the handheld for protection for people, but you're also going to have. I mean, your viewership will go through the freaking roof with the if you put this on. Uh, and we're not hiding anything, and that's where I guess the way I look at it is, we have the desktop product, and this is I guess where I'd look. It sounds like you'd be open to this. Is we're a couple man show right now, and for us to reach out to emergency, we've barely even penetrated emergency management and 911. I mean, that's a fertile ground for our desktop, and I'm assuming if you were broadcasting this, you'd have some of those people coming in as well. And then now if we start selling the Storm Command Center product, I could certainly get you in on a commission structure, to work through, with that and selling that if that was something that you were interested in. But yep, yep, that's certainly doable. I just threw it out there, and that when people are asking, I mean, those questions can be referred back to us, I'm just saying, you're going to probably get questions on your site from fire departments or police departments because, wow, that's kind of cool. Where we've got it where they can throw this up on a big screen in their emergency operations center and coordinate, their all, response that goes along with this. That's a whole nother leg of this I probably should show you as well, is to pull up, is like I say, we have 7 years of history of this. So we've got corridors for every one of these red lines here. We have history of that. And just a side note, for each one of these that's generated, we create a Google Earth KML fly through for every one of these. So you could actually fly through the path of the storm in Google Earth. So we look at that for, after a storm goes through, like a lot of times these tornadoes at night, and you got the scanner on, and people, they're driving around, they don't know where the hell the tornado went through. With our corridors, hey, you need to go, you need to go down and look at this neighborhood, because we've got these corridors where they can go in, and so they could be more efficient and actually their response as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much, Bob, what we got going on here. This is rock solid. The whole back end of this is running on Microsoft Azure in the cloud. I've got scripts running 24/7 where I'm pulling this information in, it's running in the background nonstop, producing this stuff. So, no, you're looking at it. I mean, my other partner. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. There's been a lot of effort. No, I don't want to make you feel that big, because I know each one of these steps, because the thousands of hours that I have in this, and I mean, say my background, my schooling was in programming, but I spent the better half of my career in management, where I managed a team of developers. So when I started getting back into the, it's one thing to, sit at the, with people working under you. I mean, I understood the technology, but it's a whole nother game to get your hands in and roll your sleeves up and write this stuff. So, it's been a challenge for me, to be honest with you. Obviously as you get older, you ain't as sharp as you used to be either, but, you got to be the database analyst, you got to be the programmer, you got to be the network guy, you got to be the security guy. And then, oh, by the way, why don't you try to sell the stuff too at the same time? And why don't you put together a marketing team? And why don't you do TikTok and Facebook and, all this stuff? And it's like, this has gotten where, it's just too much. I mean, it's just, so really what I have and what you see here, this is a racehorse product that's unseen right now. This is like untapped. I mean, it's like I say, that the handheld's only been released for like 6 weeks. And like I say, our Storm Command Center, like I say, we've got it out with some EMs and 911, but we have not had like a nationwide rollout on any of this. So the market is just totally ripe. And again, it was all with the goal of saving lives. I mean, that's what we are all about. And that sounds like that's where you're at. And so yeah, I mean, going forward, I mean, maybe you can think on it a little bit, and we can maybe, reach back. But I mean, I just saw that you were putting like a lot of work into, your own front end. And that's where I was kind of saying, God, I already got a lot of this and more, like, like you've seen. And, if there's, if it makes sense where we could get together on this, that could, save you some time from tearing your hair out with, a lot of things you're going through, and say, I already walked down that jungle, or, I already tamed that thing. And my, like I say, my gig is, I don't want to just say, okay, I'm going to be your competitor now, and I'm going to go on TikTok and stream. I mean, I don't want to, I'm a technology guy. I mean, I don't want to be
streaming 24/7. I'd rather, I'm more of the technology guy, in the back office and, get the stuff running. And like I say, it looks like, one of the things I've seen, I guess is more of a question now for you, and that, I see you run your streams on like TikTok, and you don't seem like you're getting any shadow banning or from them. I've just tried to understand how it works, and I keep getting like kicked out of live studio and stuff like that because it says I don't have enough movement, or I don't have a clack. And I mean, you already walked down all those paths, so I don't know if that's because I'm new. With the research I found is, since I'm only on TikTok for 6 weeks, so they don't even really know who I am yet. So that's what I was getting. Yeah. Well, I still do. That's good. Like I said, I think you've cut through quite a bit of that on that end. So I don't know, what do you think some next steps, or what you want to think on this a little bit? Or I mean, I think we're in alignment. Like I say, I want you to be successful, and if you're successful, then I'll be successful. I think is be a win-win. I think for both of us. Um, and because there's no question this will separate you from the pack for streaming. I mean, I think you can still jump around, but I mean, I think you go in here and just start popping up, these as soon as you get a tornado warning, you're going to be able to pop these up, and you're going to be able to see, and with the street level, you go in and you can turn on, the actual hybrid and get right in here to the street level and see that. So I mean, that's eye candy, but I mean, that's life-saving information as well. Oh, I mean, so I mean, having this type of information at your fingertips. And like I say, these clouds, these cells, this, like I say, this is nobody has this stuff. This is buried in the walls of AWIPS at National Weather Service, and they don't even, I mean, I think you could build a whole warning model
off just this technology right here. So there's, I'm sure you see it where it's like, why did they warn that cell? And then you look at another area where there's 1.5 inch hail and then they don't have a warning on it. So it's like each forecast office does whatever the hell they want is what's going on right now. And I don't think that, I don't want to get off task here, but I don't think the actual forecasters like this technology, because this is basically could be a bar to say, you know, you should, when you get to these levels, this is when you issue it, so there'd be consistency. And they don't like that. You know, they want to be able to have their own autonomous, you know, we're in this forecast office and we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. So this technology, though, is, like I say, it was built right here at UW-Madison downtown with NOAA, and it's fully supported. So we've taken the raw data. I mean, all this, I take the raw data, and then I like I say, I colorize these and do all this, append the city, state. That's all on my end. So I'm doing that all with raw data. But yeah, like I say, yeah, that's updated every, you know, like say upper right up here, there's 236 cells that we're monitoring right now. And that, like say, it runs every. I thank you. Yeah. And it's all, you know, it's all focused on, you know, what is this going to, you know, how is this going to impact me? Because that's the part that I think's missing. You know, it's the whole weather model still is like, you know, watch me on TV or watch, you know, you need to watch somebody to tell you what's going on. And what we try to do is, no, we're going to give you the technology so you can be self-sufficient. And, you know, this is the best example I think I can give. Is I've put in here, we've got a test mode. So this is like when there's no storms, if somebody wants to see something. What we did is put the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. I'm sure you're familiar with that one. Candle factory. Um, this is what the map looked like on the candle factory 20 minutes before Mayfield was hit. These are our exact corridors, and I'll just go show you. I think I have it on the phone, but I don't think it's on here. So I'm just going to add in the phone, I think it was right here is where the candle factory was. I guess I can turn on. You can see the place is wiped out now. Yeah, it's still a barren lot. So I'm going here, and so let's just add this. I'm going to call that the candle factory. So we've got the candle factory in here. You can see right now it's saying 17.3 miles. This is when this was a confirmed tornado, and it was coming right at the candle factory. These are our exact corridors at that time that we generated. So this is the exact same thing. What we do is when there's a confirmed tornado, we go solid red lines on these. So you can see exactly where it is. But this is, you know, I'm saying if you were sitting in Mayfield in that candle factory and you had our application, you would have known that you have a warned tornado coming at you right now, and it's 17 miles away from you. That's how our software works. And it's update, like I say, and it's updated. So this would have went 17, and then they issued another tornado warning here. I didn't include all those just for the sake of brevity on this demo, but these are the exact. I didn't like form feed these. This is the exact warning, the exact text that was in the warning. I mean, this is right out of our software. Right here at 9:09, it hit the candle factory at 9:30, I think. So this is this warning at 9:09. Storm moving northeast at 55. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Law enforcement confirmed tornado. Here, tornado will remain over mainly rural areas of East and Fulton County, not saying anything about going into Mayfield at that time with the first one. But yeah, that's how our stuff works. I mean, it's if you get whatever location you got in, every storm. So let's go up here to the warning. This is right now I entered Mayfield in, so this is what their dashboard would have looked like at this time. This is the tornadoes. It was PAG 58, hail 87, wind 79. So these were like monsters. Those were they. So this going through that AI machine learning, like I told you, it had those cells freaking pegged. I mean, and that wasn't the only one. We had these other ones down here, and like I say, we go solid red on each one of these that's confirmed. But this is what your dashboard, this is what the dashboard looks like when things are popping and heating up. And it's like, so yeah, that's kind of what things are going down, what it looks like, and that's what you would see in your application as well. So that's, yeah, well, maybe you can sit and chew on it a little bit. Like I say, all I would ask is, I mean, I probably want to see exactly which, because I can't give you this in its exact form. I'll have to think on it a little bit as to how I would wrap this, but it would just be a website. Like right now, you're broadcasting your website. I'd get you a password login and like I say, this is running as an Azure static website, and I'd be able to get that to you. And yep. So, and like I said, no, go ahead. Well, what I just screwed around with yesterday, where I get throttle, which is a pain in the ass, is I basically took the phone app and I was able to cast that into Live Studio, and then I was able to, basically just work the phone app, and it was coming through on Live Studio. But then you're sitting looking at your phone, which is a pain in the ass. But I guess for my situation, I mean, that might be another option where you would have that in your toolkit, because then it'd be showing people exactly what the phone app looks like. So, I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm just, because I'm thinking that, with this software, then with the phone, we also have an elaborate, like I say, history. So, I mean, you could have a show where, what happened yesterday. I've got another thing that's really cool that basically is each one of these corridors, we're drawing them out 60 miles, but I've developed something where I basically only keep them as long as the National Weather Service warnings in place. And I'm drawing those into KML. And so I got them right in Google Earth, and it's super cool because then it shows the stacking warnings and it shows exactly where they went. And if you look at some of the posts, I've got a post out there on that one of the last tornadoes that went through. But if you look at some of my posts, you'll see what it looks like in Google Earth, and it's really cool. I mean, it's eye candy, but it's the actual corridor, and it shows where it is. And then, I put those out there where you know, with TikTok, I put the city state of where it went through. So then the algo's picking up on those and pushing it to people in those areas. And that's some of them where I've gotten like 20,000 views on that. So I just bring that up for you is that, you know, it's not even just when storms are going on. With our software, we can say, okay, well, where was the strongest 5 storms from yesterday? I mean, so you could almost have like a shoal, you know, where you go in and, you know, look at where the strongest, and I mean, we track all the hail. So we'd say, where was the largest hail in the United States yesterday? Here's the 3 storms. We can go boom, we can go just like that to it right now. I can tell you with a click of a button where that is. Yeah. Um, let me see here if I can bring up, I'll bring up the history once, show you what that looks like. Let's see here. Okay, this is our legacy app that's being used by EM and 911 right now. Looks a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same concept. But up here at the top, we've got this today's hail. You click on that. That's basically as the hail ball falls out of the sky, we tell you the street and the hail size. So right now, these right here, this is at 17:01. So this is 1 minute ago in Burns, Oregon. They got a hail that dropped. So this is 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. So as they fall out of the sky, we're plotting them, and we have all this information. So, but to show you the history, I don't know, is there a day that stands out to you? I can go just grab up some storms here. If there's a day that, you know, it could be a year ago or whatever, or yesterday, or you give me a date, I'll enter it in and I enter the state in and we'll go see what we all got. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. 25, that was 3 days ago. Was that Texas that was getting a bunch of stuff, I think? So you go in, you put the date in, we got all warning types, Texas, and click map it. I guess we didn't have that much that day, but it gets you the idea what goes on here. So um, this is every warning that was issued that day. You can go in here. It's got the warning. Here we've got those actual values, that what the storm cell was at that time at the level of the street. So you can look right in here to see where it was. So again, it's a lot of times nicer than to turn the hybrid on. So then you can get right in here and see, you know, what was the hail. You know, right here we had 1-inch hail coming down here on the Venera Street area. I mean, obviously these hail cores bounce around, but it's definitely in the general vicinity. So I mean, this is for every storm. So any day you can go in, overlaid the National Weather Service report. So you'll see the hail, tornado, all those are on here as well. You can see where they've issued the hail warnings and then where our corridors were. They're going all different directions. They must have been at different times. 448. Oh, that must have been when they were almost stationary then. Yeah, 12 miles an hour. So they were just kind of sitting there spinning. But yeah, so you got all this history as well, going all the way back for that. So yeah. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you and see what you thought. Like I said, I think we do have some synergies here, Bob. Do you think we got some synergies here? Yeah, okay. I'll do a little noodling on my end to see how I'd like to expose this to you. I'm gonna have a little bit of work to do on my end to do that because this is a little bit different than you know how how I put it out to the EMs and 911 and stuff. Um, but like I say, my only all I'm going to ask of I won't charge. I'm not planning on charging you anything for it. I guess I look at it as partnering with you, and that I want you to be the best streamer out there, and I want people coming to you. And if people are coming to you, then people are going to be coming to the phone app, and then you win and I win. We all win, and and I think I can jump in and be a moderator once in a while, or come in and do a dual thing where we can talk back and forth. I think people would like that. And I also, which I didn't, I put it in one of your chats the other day, but I've got a relationship with Dr. Craig Cece at University of Mississippi. He's got the nationwide storm shelter database, and we've been doing work with him. So we're looking at putting all his whenever one of these corridors are drawn, we're going to put storm shelters out on these maps as well. So then people would, if people are looking at it and saying, hey, it's time for me to go, we're going to have the shelter exactly where, where it is. Hopefully they know their shelter beforehand, but that's just what they don't. You're right. And yeah, yeah. And we also, I mean, we're a small outfit, but we also have another initiative going on for mobile home communities. I mean, they're the most vulnerable, so we're trying to reach out to them and get them some best practices. We're trying to get our app, our handheld app, in their hands, because they need to know when to go more than anybody. I mean, um, you need to know when you need to get rolling. So yeah, I just bring that up to you. It's like Craig's a super intelligent guy. He's actually autistic, and he's got a PhD in meteorology from Mississippi State. The guy's a genius, and we ended up partnering with him and helping him out with what he's got going on. And he'd be another guy that you could have on the stream. He's a likable, talkable guy, and so I think we could do a lot of things to value add your stream to basically separate it from the pack, and you know, and yeah, yeah. If you want to send me the info to how you want to get me logged in, and I'd be happy to do that because, like I said, I want to help you out. I appreciate you shared your struggles, and we've all had them, and like I say, I've had more than I care to admit too, but that's just your life journey, and I think a lot of people, my brothers and stuff, they don't like even understand this. They go, "What? You're still fucking around with that weather stuff?" They go, why don't you hang that up? It's like what? And I'm like, no, I've got something that nobody has. I mean, this is life saving. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. What's that? Um, not really under the hood as much, and it's, a lot. Like I say, I did. There's no question. I mean, I walked away from a nice mid-management job. I got divorced, and said I'm sick of corporate America. I'm sick of. I probably wasn't making the best decisions at that time, but then I took on Wall Street and I did pretty good there. But I got sick and I got my ass handed to me there too. So I've been around the block a few times, but I don't know. This one's all stuck with me though, because it's like I say, I hate seeing people die from tornadoes. When I say I don't, they really don't need. If a tornado doesn't come right down out of the sky and drop on your head, you should have some advance warning. And we've developed a system that makes it. I mean, that handheld app I built, you can play around with that a little more, but I've made it brain dead simple. I mean, you don't need to be a meteorologist to use it. You know, it's just, this is where I'm at. This is where the storm's coming, and it's 20 miles away. It's 18 miles away. It's 16 miles away. It's 14 miles away. Okay, what the hell are you going to do? You're going to go in the basement, or you're going to go to Dodge, and then I guess if you get killed, it's your own fault. but yeah. Yeah, I mean, we made it dirt. I mean, a lot of people, well, God, you got it so cheap, you know, it's whatever. And, you know, my thought on it is, you know, I want to save lives, and, you know, I'm not going to get rich off it. But I also, though, don't, I mean, I'm sitting with this technology. It's been behind the curtains for the most part. And, you know, I see all this junk software coming out, you know, and it's like, I go, we already got this built, you know, let's put it out to the masses. And I think word of mouth, I mean, once people see it, you know, they tell 10 people, and then they tell 10 people, and then, you know, working with you, and people are coming, you know, what's that? They hear about it, and, you know, you're keeping people safe. Now they're getting an app that keeps them safe. That's a win for all of us. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And, um, you know, the rest will take care of itself. And I think along the way, you know, you know, just been watching you a little bit, but I find you entertaining, and I think you and I could get along well, and have a little fun along the way, you know, with all this stuff as well. So, all right, Bob, well, why don't you get me hooked up with your Discord, and I'll noodle this a little bit, and I'll have something, you know, it'll probably be early next week as I figure out how I want to wrap this up, and then I'll be able to, ultimately, you'll have a URL, and you'll be able to log in. And then just as you're sharing your stuff right now, you'll be able to pull us up. And like I say, all I'm going to ask, you know, I'm not saying, you know, you need to be a 15-second advertisement for, you know, my stuff, but I'm sure you're going to get a lot of questions in chat, you know, where is this? What is it? And, you know, then say, look in the link, you know, Storm GPS or Tornado Tracker, you know, and it'll take care of itself, you know. But that's, I guess, all I'm asking, you know, on my end, so that, you know, this is going to get in more people's hands, and, you know, you're going to help me out, because, you know, I've only gotten into TikTok for 6 weeks, and I don't, you know, I don't want to sit and be streaming 24/7 either, to try to get to, you know, you're already down that road, so I look at it as you're helping me and I'm helping you. So, yeah. And I think it would help too, you know, and when you get a lot of users, I mean, I see in your chat, and it's pretty much every one of some of those weather, the TikToks that I've seen, their whole feed is all about somebody saying, I'm in Rockford, Illinois. What's happening? I'm in this city. What's happening? And you get all those. And what you're going to be able to do is saying, okay, I can go look at it in Storm GPS, but you know what? If you go out here and download this app, you're going to be able to enter your own city, and you won't have to ask that question, because you're going to have it in your phone, and that'll eliminate a lot of that BS that you get. Exactly. Right. And that's where I hopefully was definitely turned a lot of heads in the community that it's out to so far. I mean, and I expected that, because it gives things that, you know, it's centered on you. You know, what other, so, I mean, some people you put your GPS in, but does it tell you how many miles away the storm is? Does it tell it's coming at you? Does it give you ETAs when it's going to arrive in your neighborhood? There's nothing out there that does that. So that's the only, the other, I guess it's not a problem, but I mean, I'm sure the more publicity you get, that's where you get the knockoffs and all these other crazies, out there. And that's, again, that's why I just wanted to be, upfront with you is, I don't plan on going out to 100 people on TikTok and giving this to. I'd rather give it to you and you be the exclusive guy and you drive it. And then you're the unique player. And then you're getting the traffic because you got, you got the best stuff. Yeah. 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 Well, Bob, I'm glad we came across paths because it's, to try to, like I say, to sit and market something. I mean, that's, for one thing, I'm not a sales and marketing guy. I'm just not, it's not my personality. And that's been one of my challenges, because I don't know how much you've dealt with, like with emergency management and such, but they're a tough crowd too, and it's like, we try to get in there and we're already working with the National Weather Service. I said, well, this will center it right on you. Well, we don't need your, they're very standoffish and it's been hard, I made penetration in there, but it's like, I'm not going to argue with, it's like, if you don't want this, but take a look at it. So it's kind of been a push and pull. And even the National Weather Service has been, that I don't know if they feel like I'm stepping on their toes and that, right now, you know, each National Weather Service office, they have a group of counties that, they'd reach out, but it's that push again, it's like they need to, I'm telling you what's going to happen. And suppose we're saying the customers we do have is saying, I don't need the National Weather Service to tell me what's coming into my area because I just bring up Storm GPS and I can see what's coming in my area. And also it's updating the storm cells every minute. Are they getting stronger? Are they getting weaker? Is there new ones developing that aren't warned yet? I can see all that. So yeah. All right, well, Bob, you got my email now, so why don't you get me set up with your Discord and I'll keep popping in and probably early next week, I probably should have something for you to kick the tires on and then we can kind of walk through the semantics. But yeah, I'd be happy to sit in on, some of your live screens. I know with Live Studio, it looks like you can add another camera or something in there or whatever. And not that I want to be on there all the time. I think a little variety once in a while probably would, you know. Yeah. All right. Well, good session, Bob. Nice meeting you. And I think we got some good stuff coming. So we'll be in touch. All right, Bob. All right. We'll be in touch.